Hi everybody, this is Mrs. Dorr, and I'm going to talk to you about your next project, the Digital Mixed Media Project. All right, so right now I am looking at the Projects tab of our regular website. So make sure to scroll all the way down until you get to the Digital Mixed Media Project directions. Okay, for this project, you can use any software that you would like. Very good news. Adobe has extended your free subscription to the Creative Cloud until the end of the school year. So that means until end of June, you have free access to your Creative Cloud when you log in according to the directions on our spring calendar. So this is not a free trial. It is not going to expire. So if you have not yet logged into the Creative Cloud using the directions that I posted on the Google Classroom stream and also on our spring calendar page in March, you definitely should do that. Okay, you can use Photoshop, Illustrator. You can also use photopea.com. You can use any digital painting software if you have your own iPad or tablet. You can even try downloading some free trials of Autodesk Pro. All right, so any digital art software that you would like to use, you can use to combine several digital mixed media techniques for your artwork. All right, so you're going to create an artwork that combines multiple digital art techniques that you've learned throughout the year, and maybe even one that you're going to learn specifically for this project. Okay, you need to combine a minimum of 3 different techniques and media. So here's some possible things you could do. You could use photos, either stock photos or photographs that you took yourself. You can include hand drawings or paintings that you created, photograph them, and layer them into your digital artwork. You can find different brushes or textures or patterns either online and download them, or you can draw on paper your own brushes or textures or patterns, photograph them in, and layer them in. You can do vector shape illustrations from Illustrator and combine them with photos from Photoshop. You can do 3D shapes like we made in 3D rendering, like we did in Photoshop at the beginning of the year. Or you could do 3D shapes in Illustrator. You could do line art made in Photoshop or Illustrator. You could incorporate digital paintings made in Photoshop or Photopea or another program. You could include text effects. So your requirements are that you at least include 3 different techniques, combine at least 2 different softwares, and show me your advanced skills that you've learned this year in class. All right, you should have an interesting topic that remains cohesive and unified because of your use of imagery and color and other elements of art, as well as your use of composition. All right, if you keep scrolling, I've included some links right here, including 15 digital mixed media tutorials and an Alberto Saveso style tutorial. Real quick, I'm just going to take you through a couple of examples. All right, so notice in this example, they definitely have some really beautiful digital painting going on the face, some line art around the face and around the hair. Then they added some splatter painting. That could be digital, or maybe they splatter painted in real life and photographed it in. They have some newspaper texture. Maybe that's a real texture they photographed or got a photo of it off online. All right, they added some text. That could be a font or hand drawn. They definitely have a limited color scheme with the black, white, and the pink to keep it unified. All right, here's some line art along with some digital painting, limited color scheme, black, white, blue, yellow. Here is a cover done by Alberto Saveso. Alberto Saveso is a really famous photographer and digital artist, and he is well known for this interesting style that he uses where he combines Photoshop and Illustrator. So you'll see here that he's used splashes of water, line work, And then on the portrait itself, there's the photograph, and then there's multiple clipping masks to make these kind of water drop shapes and splashes filled in with layers of color overlays, and then these other strips of red, white, and blue. All right, so this was for the Olympics, so you can see that they used the red, white, and blue color scheme to look very patriotic, and of course to add together multiple techniques and create them in a unified way. Here's another example from Alberto Saveso. So really it's all about shapes and clipping masks and photographs. So this can be done with Photoshop. All right, so what you should see from these examples is that they're using things that look like vectors in combination with photographs, drawings, digital paintings, vector shapes, all right, you name it. So your goal here is to combine a whole bunch of different techniques to make a visually interesting artwork, but also unified. All right, so think about what subject matter do you want to do. You can do any subject matter you want. Portraits, landscapes, text, abstraction. Think about using a color scheme. Limit yourself, I would say black, white, and maybe 2 or 3 more colors. That really helps with unity. All right, here we have kind of a hand-drawn look along with silhouettes, textures, digital painting. Then there's even vector drawings and typography. All right, so definitely go through these and take your time, really looking at all the different things these artists combined. All right, if you keep scrolling down, here's some student examples. All right, and you'll notice that, it's completely wide open what their topic can be. They've got photographs, sheets of mathematical equations, color overlays, clipping masks, vector art. Okay. So lots of nice examples. I really like how the mountains are coming out of his sunglasses right there. Line art, photographs, color overlays. Lots of different shapes, clipping masks, textures, patterns. Here's some vector art, photographs, line art. Got some gradients, an abstract work. All right, do take some more time to look at all of those examples on your own. Keep scrolling down. While you are creating your digital mixed media project, you need to document your process. So this is more than a source file. You'll start out with your source images, but you will also show me how did you make this artwork from beginning to middle to end. You can take screenshots of your work in progress during the beginning, the middle, and then the end, or you can simply keep saving your work and renaming it, like save it, beginning, part 1, beginning, part 2, middle, part 1, middle, part 2. All right, and the whole point here is that you show me all the effort, all the skill and technique that you put into this artwork. So you should have your source photos in this process document. You'll technically make one new document, 8x10, 150 ppi, and you will show me your process on that document. Here's an example from a student. All right, so she has here, she actually started out with a sketch. She drew that by hand, photographed it, edited it in Photoshop. Then in Illustrator, she experimented and really honed her skills in making 3-dimensional shapes in Illustrator. She shows a screenshot of her layers and her roses right there. Then she moves back to Photoshop where she puts the roses onto her portrait. She starts showing how she colorized the portrait, and she said here in Adobe Illustrator too how she worked. All right, then she talks about how she added layers of newspaper in Photoshop and worked with opacity mode, did some other final corrections, and shows kind of an alternate draft. She also includes her color scheme over here and kind of filled the background a nice color that complements everything. All right, and then her final work. So this is exactly what the process you'll turn in. You'll turn in your final work, and you'll also turn in your process document, 2 files. Okay, so this all is posted on the Digital Art and Design Projects tab. I've also reposted it on the spring calendar and on your Google Classroom. Okay. All right, so do notice then I linked that Alberto Saveso tutorial. If you really liked that style, that's fun. And then here is the link to the other 15 digital mixed media tutorials. If you choose to follow one of these tutorials, you have got to find ways to make it uniquely yours. You've got to change photos, you've got to change some techniques, you've got to change colors, you've got to change subject matter. You can't just copy it straight from, all right? So if you choose to use a tutorial to help you, don't copy it as is. Change the photos, change the textures, change the fonts, change the colors, change the composition. Make it your own. You will also need to include a picture, like let's say I use this tutorial, I will need to include this photograph and discuss, this is the tutorial I used to help me, okay? You don't have to use a tutorial, you can do this all on your own and combine different styles yourself. But if you choose to use a tutorial, make sure you change a lot and include the image from the tutorial and explain that this was the tutorial you learned from. Okay, so make sure to go back, take a look at your directions, take a look at the examples from the professional artists, the student artists. Make sure to really meet all of these requirements here and get working. You have a lot of time to work on this. It's not due until June 1st. Really make sure you're showing me that you put a lot of creativity and a lot of effort into this. Okay, I miss you guys. I hope you're having fun at home being creative. Excuse me, being creative. All right, bye guys.